So, one more to review. This is a lesser seen model from VFC. Beautiful box, as you can see. We just don't see this model in the UK really, and that's because really it's aimed for the Taiwanese domestic market, and that is the T91 SOC, which is the modernised version of the Taiwanese issue rifle, the T91, which is based on an AR platform but not an AR platform. Interestingly, this has actually got officially licensed M-lock on the handguard, so you know that the handguard is going to fit your M-lock accessories. The box is much nicer than a lot of VFC boxes, with this really nice gloss finish with the picture of the rifle on the back, and this lovely subdued olive drab with the Taiwanese flag on it. I know we don't normally talk about boxes, but I thought it was quite nice, so let's just have a look as we open it up. What do we have? We have the rifle itself, obviously, which we'll look at in a moment. We've got the instruction manual and speed loader with the adapter. Pop that to the side. We have a T91 gas magazine, which is basically the AR-15 VFC magazine that we're used to, but this one is actually, hopefully you can see the round count markings there. Other than that, it's a version 3 Stag magazine in black. Looks quite cool though. This will take regular VFC AR-15 magazines as well. We undo the rifle from its packaging, pop that out, take that away from the microphone a little bit, and we'll slide the box along so it's out of the way a bit. And we have the rifle. So there's the rifle in all its glory. We've got a lovely M-lock handguard, the dreaded sticker that would come off if I was hanging this myself. So let's have a look at the differences of this and a regular AR-15. We've got a lovely muzzle device on the end there, which is steel, and then an alloy barrel. The gas block, because the T91 is a gas operated piston driven rifle. I wonder if we can actually remove that gas regulator. Maybe. Not going to mess with that too much. Then we come back to our little Picatinny rail underneath, which I presume would be primarily for the bipod. This lovely M-lock handguard, which is really nice, which has been lightened with slots across the top. That's got a really nice feel to it. It's held on with this bolt just here. Your front sight, fixed front sight with your sling swivel attached, which is quite a cool sling swivel actually. The receiver doesn't have markings on it, and then the selector markings are safe, single shot and 3-round burst, and then a removable rear sight. Regular M4 receiver sort of thing, nothing too shocking there. A slightly different design pistol grip, which actually, it fills the hand nicely. It reminds me of the Storm grip from the DeMarco, the L19A1, but it's slightly thinner in profile that way, and it does have a compartment. Then we have a knurled receiver extension nut there, which is different, and then what first appears to be a regular late pattern carbine stock is not. It's got this angle to it, it's a different shape. The release lever is much larger, and that's really positive, and the buffer tube is different. It's much wider here, so you wouldn't be able to put a regular M4 stock on there, I don't think. We may check that in a moment. And then we've got this lovely detailing on the back there for slip resistance, and a beefed up rear sling point there, and another bloody VFC sticker. So this got 3-round burst markings on the receiver. That pin came out nice and easy. So let's see, does this have a burst fire mechanism? And as you can see there, it does. Or we'll see if that works in a moment. The recoil spring is actually pretty strong on this. The bolt carrier is different to a regular M4. Let's just open her up. Yeah, that is different. It's more like a 416 style with no gas vents. That's because it's piston driven on the rear one, obviously. And there's your nozzle, which is a regular M4 nozzle. Now look in the light. It should be. I believe these do come with an end pass in them. Yeah, this one does have an end pass installed. Sorry, I went off camera there. And then a regular buffer spring and buffer that you'd expect to find in an AR-15 with the, it's an anti-bolt bounce buffer with the weight in it. Let's push that back in. Oop, that's not in place properly. There we go. Close that back up. Right. So, let's see what this burst fire system's about. So we'll take the magazine. As I said, we'll take regular M4 mags as well. We'll just charge this with some gas. This is a very old can of gas here. What's the date? 2020. It's well old. But it should be fine for our purposes here. Let's put the magazine in, nice and positive. You do have these over insertion stops, which you don't find in normal M4 magazines. That's rather nice. Bolt catch works great. Bolt release. So let's have a look. First on single shot. That's very snappy. Trigger is as you would expect on a VFC AR. No walls, no take up. Straight to the brake. Nice clean brake. Good reset. No slack after the reset. Off we go. So let's try it on burst mode. That's burst. Yep, confirmed. Ground burst works great. That recoil is really hard. I don't know why. So we'll remove the magazine, and I will just pause you for just a second. We're going to go and get a magnet because I've got a feeling this may have a steel bolt carrier group, but we can check other components too. So don't have my usual magnet with me, so we are going to use a motor to check these components. So as I said, steel flash hider, alloy barrel, steel bolts, steel gas tube components, steel sling swivel, steel rear sight adjustment, steel controls on a receiver. Let's just pop that bolt carrier out again a little bit. It's not a steel bolt carrier, which is surprising because that's got heck of recoil. Okay, let's just check the fire control components. They're all steel, as you would expect on a V3. So yeah. So yeah, all of the fire control components are steel, as you would expect on any other VFC V3. Compatibility with M4 parts. You can use the M4 nozzles. The receiver is a modified receiver, so it does have this pin location here, so you can't use a regular M4 upper with this handguard. The lower appears to be completely M4 compatible. The buffer tube extension, as I said, is much wider and more substantial here, so that isn't a regular M4 buffer. Let's grab a M4 stock and see if that fits actually. So we've got a BCM stock. I'm going to try and fit on there, but I think that extension is going to be non-compatible. We'll have a look just to be safe. We don't want to give out false information when we can check. It's a 3-position stock, as you can probably see from this buffer tube here. Let's have a look. No, that's way wider. So let's bring it over so you can see a little bit better. The buffer tube is wider here, so stock won't go on at all. And even if it did, this adjustment point is way too wide for a regular M4 stock. So you'd have to change the buffer tube if you wanted to change the stock on this, which is unfortunate, because I think the ugliest part about this T91 is actually the stock, which is going to give me some issues getting it back together. There we go. That's pretty stiff actually, that spring. But yeah, so there's your T91. So I think this is an ideal rifle if someone wants something with M4 controls to feel familiar, be able to take M4 magazines, but you want something that isn't what everybody else has got. The FNC obviously takes M4 mags, but doesn't have the M4 controls. So this is a little bit more towards the M4 platform without being a boring old M4. This is a very slept on rifle. I've never seen one on the field in the UK. I've never seen another review from the UK on them. But that 3-round burst mechanism does make it a very interesting choice for gas blowback gamers. And it's just a cool looking rifle. It's really different. It's quite weighty, but with this alloy barrel it's not overly heavy. It's just the weight of a 14.5 inch M4 really. That 3-round burst is rapid, recoil feels great, trigger is amazing as you would usually find on a VFC M4 platform or MCX platform, whichever. And it seems to be a really nice choice for someone that just wants something a little bit different, a little bit special. And having the M-LOK handguard means that you've got a multitude of accessories that you can put on there, and it's obviously licensed M-LOK so you can fit genuine M-LOK accessories on there, no problem at all. The sling swivel is pretty cool because it's rotating, which means you're not going to get hooked up. And obviously you've got your flat top receiver and flat top on the handguard for mounting PQ boxes and sights and what have you. And I would probably remove the rear sight if I was going to use an optic. But yeah, so there we go, a little look at the T91 SOC from VFC. Definitely one to have a look at. And there's a couple of retailers in the UK got them. I think High Pressure Airsoft have them. Maybe JD, I'm not sure. Definitely worth having a look at if you want something a little bit different, but still with those M4 controls and magazines. And the recoil is really, really decent as well. I'm not going to be able to test the range on this because it's not mine, but I thought maybe you'd want a quick look whilst I'm here at something just a little bit different. So there we go, the T91 SOC from VFC.